6-year-old Kyran Durnin vanished from Dundalk, County Louth, and for 2 years, almost no one asked where he was. Not the school, not the neighbors, and not even his extended family, until it was far too late. When authorities finally realized something was wrong, it was August 2024. By then, Kyran hadn't been seen since June 2022, and no one outside his household had laid eyes on him in over 2 full years. This isn't just a missing persons case. This is a breakdown of trust, of oversight, of an entire system meant to protect vulnerable children. Because the scariest part, Kyran didn't just disappear, he was erased from everyday life, silently, without alarm, without follow-up. How does that happen? And who, if anyone, is going to be held accountable? This is the story of Kyran Durnin, a quiet little boy who vanished and was forgotten, until someone finally asked the question no one had dared to ask for 2 years. Where is Kyran? Before the headlines, before the search teams, before the public outrage, there was just Kyran. A soft-spoken, bright 6-year-old boy living in Dundalk, County Louth. He was enrolled at St. Nicholas Monastery National School, where teachers described him as quiet, polite, and curious. He didn't stand out in any troubling way. He was simply a child, one of many, going through the rhythms of school and home. But in May 2022, things began to shift. Kyran's mother contacted the school to say he was unwell and would not be returning for the rest of the term. Not long after, she claimed the family would be relocating to Northern Ireland. And that was it. The school marked him down as withdrawn. There was no formal welfare check, no follow-up from education authorities, no visit from child services. As far as official systems were concerned, Kyran was now someone else's responsibility. Except he wasn't, because from that moment forward, no one outside his home would ever see him again. To understand how Kyran Durnin vanished without triggering alarms, we need to walk through the timeline, not just of his disappearance, but of the silence that followed. May 2022, Kyran's mother tells his school he's ill and won't be attending. She later claims the family is moving to Northern Ireland. The school accepts this without further inquiry. June 2022. This is the last time anyone outside the immediate household can confirm seeing Kyran alive. There are no photos, no medical visits, no school records, no digital trace after this point. Mid-2024. The family vacates their home in Dundalk. Neighbors note their quiet departure. Kyran is not seen. August 30th, 2024. A report is finally made by Kyran's grandmother. She had grown increasingly suspicious after not seeing her grandson in years. She contacts Gardaí. October 2024. Gardaí, acting on concerning information, upgrade the case to a murder investigation. At this stage, they publicly confirm what many had feared, that no one can account for Kyran's whereabouts for over 2 years. 2 years, 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, and not a single welfare check. This wasn't just a disappearance. It was a complete collapse of accountability, and now police were trying to rebuild a timeline that had been ignored for far too long. When Kyran's grandmother contacted Gardaí in August 2024, the urgency was immediate, but the delay was already devastating. Officers began by searching the family's former home in Dundalk, hoping to find any sign that might explain what happened between mid-2022 and 2024. Specialist teams combed through the property. Floors were pulled up, back gardens examined, walls and crawl spaces checked. Nothing. From there, investigators expanded the search to a second property in Drogheda, a location also linked to the family. Once again, forensic experts were deployed, dogs were brought in, digital devices were seized. Still nothing. But a disturbing clue emerged during the process. At one point, during a Tusla meeting, a child was presented as Kyran, but Gardaí later confirmed that this child was not him. Authorities haven't publicly stated who the child was or why he was brought in under Kyran's name. But the deception was clear, and it shifted the tone of the investigation sharply. Investigators began combing through digital records. No health visits, no travel activity, no school re-enrollment, no trace of Kyran online, not even family photos or birthday acknowledgements after June 2022. It was as if he had been deliberately removed from existence. Gardaí questioned the mother. Her answers were inconsistent. She was later located in the UK in October 2024, but claimed she did not know where Kyran was. No body, no confession, no physical evidence. Just silence and the growing sense that something had gone terribly, irreversibly wrong. What stunned the Irish public wasn't just that Kyran was missing, it was that no one noticed he was gone for 2 entire years. Let's be clear, Kyran wasn't a stranger to the system. According to multiple reports, he was previously known to Tusla, Ireland's child and family agency. Yet no flag was raised when he stopped showing up to school. No social worker came knocking when he disappeared from health or education records. How? Tusla later admitted they had records relating to Kyran, but said that some files were lost during a 2021 cyber attack. That explanation sparked outrage. Were the missing files critical? Did they contain red flags? Would Kyran's fate have been different if someone had followed up? No one knows for sure. But here's what we do know. No automatic alerts were triggered when Kyran was withdrawn from school. No school official or agency checked to confirm the claimed move to Northern Ireland. No regular welfare visit occurred, not in 2022, 2023, or even early 2024. And in that vacuum, a little boy vanished unnoticed, unrecorded, and unprotected. Even Ireland's Taoiseach Simon Harris called the case deeply disturbing and promised a full investigation into how Kyran slipped through the cracks. But by then, it was already too late. When the full story of Kyran Durnin's disappearance hit the headlines in late 2024, Ireland erupted. Not just in sadness, but in disbelief. How could a child vanish for 2 years and no one even ask where he was? That question flooded social media, newspapers, talk shows, and school hallways across the country. Parents began questioning their own schools and agencies. Child protection advocates demanded a full public inquiry. And a grieving grandmother became the face of a tragedy that should have never happened. Vigils were held. Flowers and photos were left outside Garda stations. Some lit candles, others posted messages online using hashtags like #JusticeForKyran and #NeverAgain. But behind the emotion was a growing fury, not just at the family, but at the system. A system that didn't notice a 6-year-old vanish. A system that allowed files to disappear. A system that took 2 years to realize a child was missing. And the most haunting part, there's still no trace of Kyran. No confirmed sightings. No remains. No closure. Only questions and the chilling realization that if a child can disappear this quietly, it could happen again. As of today, Kyran Durnin has not been found. There's no confirmed sighting, no forensic evidence, no charges filed, no body. The case remains officially open, classified as a murder investigation, but without enough evidence to move forward. Gardaí have made it clear they believe something serious happened to Kyran, but without cooperation, without witnesses, without that one piece of the puzzle, they're stuck. In October 2024, Kyran's mother was located in the UK. She denied knowing where her son was. Authorities questioned her and released her. No arrests have been made. Meanwhile, Gardaí continued to plead with the public. If you saw anything, if you remember anything, speak up. Even the smallest tip could break the silence. Today, Kyran would be 10 years old. Was he taken away? Was he hidden? Was his fate sealed the day he left school and never came back? Someone knows. Someone saw something. And someone somewhere is still staying quiet. Until that silence breaks, Kyran isn't just a missing child. He's a reminder, a warning, that when systems fail and communities don't ask questions, children disappear. What happened to Kyran Durnin should never have happened. Not in a country with child protection agencies. Not in a community with neighbors and teachers and social workers. Not with a school system, a health system, and a state that promises to protect its children. But it did. And now we're left asking, how many other Kyrans are out there silent, unseen, slipping through the cracks? This case isn't just about one missing boy. It's about every adult who looked the other way, every office that lost a file, every institution that trusted a simple phone call without asking to see a child's face. If Kyran had been followed up on, if someone had knocked on the door, if a welfare visit had happened, would he still be here today? We may never know what happened to him, but we do know this: the next child deserves better. So if you're watching this video and you ever suspect something's not right in your neighborhood, your school, your family, don't stay silent. Ask the question. Call it in. Because maybe the difference between life and disappearance is one person who refused to look away. And maybe that person is you.